SVI Media Studios in Star Valley. This is First Bank of Wyoming Sports Friday. Find your local branch location at gofirstbank.com.
Welcome back into the SVI Media Studios for First Bank of Wyoming Sports Friday. Duke Dahl and Dal Erickson here with you, and a cool opportunity to talk to one of Wyoming's high school basketball coaches, and he's been doing it for a long time, and he's bounced back and forth from girls and boys, different sports, varsity, and now freshman coach for the boys at Green River High School. That is Tim Cassity, who just coached his 700th game in Green River. Coach Cassity, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Well, we appreciate you giving us a few minutes of your time. And Coach Cassity, that's a lot of dang games. And as a sports nut myself, and someone who spends a lot of time not just watching the varsity stuff, but the underclassmen as they do their thing. Just because you're coaching the underclassmen doesn't necessarily mean you're taking any less grief from parents or fans or anything like that. What do you attribute your longevity to? 700 games is quite a stretch.
Well, I don't know. I've been doing it a long time. I think this is my 35th year. I just enjoy coaching. I enjoy coaching basketball. I coach football and track here also, and so I don't know. It's just what I've always done. I'm from Star Valley, and so I grew up there playing sports, and I had some great coaches and some mentors that made me want to be a coach. And I used to think it was the greatest job in the world, and it kind of is. But it does take a little bit of time. It's mostly the kids. I think the kids make it special. We have a great group of kids here in Green River, so it makes it fun.
Well, Coach Cassity, I understand that you started teaching in Green River, what was it, the late 80s at some point, and got into coaching pretty quick after that. What was it that originally got you into coaching? You kind of alluded to it, but when you first took that big plunge, why did you do that?
Well, I'd always planned on it. I went to college my first year at Utah State and was thinking I was going into engineering, and I had a great man years ago that had told me that I should be a teacher, and he was one of my teachers there at Star Valley High School, and so I was in the back of my mind, and then like I said, I had some great examples in Star Valley that made me want to be a coach, and I loved the atmosphere of it. I loved playing, and I got a couple of people that lived right by me there. I grew up in Osmond, and I had Dorn Erickson and Steve Erickson lived right by me, and they taught me a lot of basketball, and they taught me to love basketball. And I, just as a young kid, playing church basketball, and I just always wanted to be a coach, and so teaching came with that. And my high school teacher was Stephen Timothy, and he used to tell me I should be a teacher, and so the two just kind of came together. And so I started in New Mexico. I taught in New Mexico for a year after I graduated from the University of Wyoming, and I coached girls basketball, the JV girls basketball, and I coached football there. And then I student taught here at Green River High School under one of the greatest men I've ever met. He helped me get back here, and I got a job here at Green River, and there was coaching opportunities, and so it just worked out that I got a chance to do it.
Coach, what are some of your philosophies? Not just some of the basics that maybe a lot of coaches will say, but you personally, I know when you're doing your thing and you have for so long, you're like, these are some of my goals as an educator and as a coach that I want to get done with my kids. That when they finish 1 or 2 or 3 years, however long they're going to be with you, that they're going to be better off in these ways. What are some of your goals?
Well, I've tried to keep in perspective the winning atmosphere, and I love to win. I think it's important that kids show up and want to win. I tell people here, I grew up in Star Valley. We were expected to win. When I was in high school, you won. You was expected to win, and so I try to keep the philosophy, I guess, of I try to win and try to get the kids to want to win. But sometimes different teams are different teams. Some years you get what you get, and you get a bunch of kids that's been prepared either by their parents or former coaches that you can win every game. And some kids show up and they haven't really been a fan maybe. So the philosophy that I've always dealt with is, if you can win, you got the kids that want to win, you try to win. And some kids show up, they just want to have fun and they just want to play. And that's a little hard for me to take, but at the same time, I've tried to learn to adapt to that and make it fun for them because I want them to enjoy basketball. I want them to enjoy the football and everything that we do because I think I've always told them our school district spends a lot of money to teach you not just how to be a basketball player because we haven't had many pro basketball players come from Green River. And so it's to teach you how to be a good man or woman, since I've coached girls also, how to be a good dad, good father, good person, how to get along with each other, how to work together as a team, because that's what they're going to have to do all their life. So they hear that from day one, and I let them know that I'm here to do whatever they can do. If they can win every game, then that's exactly what I want to do. If it's to do the best we can, and if it doesn't work out, we're still okay. And they still learn life's lessons from it. And that's the great thing about basketball is that it teaches you a lot about life and hopefully makes them better people.
Coach Tim Cassity joining us this morning on First Bank of Wyoming Sports Friday, the current freshman boys basketball coach, and just recently coached his 700th basketball game for Green River. Coach Cassity, you mentioned you've done multiple sports. You've done boys and girls basketball. If I understand correctly, you were the head varsity coach for some time. When you look back at your time as a coach up to this point, what are some moments that stick out to you in your mind, maybe some of your best memories that you'll cherish forever?
Oh, I think one of them was my first year of coaching. And it sounds strange because I was young and didn't know anything. And I was in New Mexico. I got to teach on the Navajo Indian Reservation down on a place called Crown Point, New Mexico. And I stepped into a JV girls job that they were just loaded with great young ladies. And they played basketball year round. And we went 22-0, and I thought I knew everything. And then I found out that I didn't soon. And so that one stands out in my mind. It was a great experience. My first year of varsity girls basketball was a special time because we made it to the state tournament, and that was always our goal. And that was kind of a special team there that we had. And then probably my last year as a varsity coach, I had a group of girls that were just special. Not just basketball-wise, but they were great young ladies, and they exemplified everything that you want as a parent and young kids, and they worked hard. And I think one of the greatest things is when you feel like they want to win for you as much as you want to win for them. And that group, every day they said, "We're going to win this for you, Coach. And we're gonna try to win for you." And I thought that was very unselfish, and that of all things stands out in my mind. And I think it made me a better coach, trying to, I need to try to win for them a little harder too. And that was kind of a special experience. I've had a lot of good experiences with freshman boys. Some people say that boys are a little bit of a challenge because they all think they're Michael Jordan, and girls are easier to coach. And that's true. But we have really great young men here in Green River, and they're just a pleasure to coach. A couple of years ago, we got a chance to had a group of kids as they just graduated this past year. Jacob Foose, Colby Ivy, that group of kids. They won the freshman tournament in Evanston. And I always told them, I said, when I was a freshman at Star Valley High School, we got second place. We lost, I think, to Bear Lake. And so I went there. I told them, we're going to go back. We're going to win this. It might have taken me 40 years to win that tournament, but we won it. And so that was kind of special, too. And they went there with every intention of winning it. And so that probably stands out in my mind more than anything else with freshman boys. A lot of good experiences. Every team's different, and I don't know. You get done, and you hope the kids learned a lot and grew a lot. And I always did as a coach. It makes you feel good to help them and be around them. So, them some of the ones that stand out.
Coach Cassity, what does the future hold for you in terms of of your coaching and also your education career? What's on the horizon?
Well, I think, I'm getting up there. I was in Star Valley a couple of weeks ago, and one of my 8th grade boys basketball coach there, Van Hokinson, was there, and he gave me some great advice. He says, "Don't quit too soon." And I've been thinking maybe I should, but I'm only 62, and so I feel like I still got a few years to do it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep doing 3 sports every year. I've done 3 sports for 35 years. That's a little tough. But I still have a few years left, I hope, that I can coach. I still love it. I love to teach. I have the best job in the entire world here at Green River High School, and so I think a few more years of coaching and teaching, and then we'll see how it goes. I need to see how things work. Like Van told me, and he gave me some advice. Every time I go to Star Valley, I've always known 3 things are going to happen. I'm going to see Van Hokinson, Dorn Erickson, and Steve Erickson, and they always have been great examples to me to come up and ask me how I'm doing, how's my family, and I've always made me feel like just because I don't live in Star Valley anymore that they still love me, and they've always been really good to me. It was sad not going up there and seeing Dorn anymore, but I got to see Steve last year and Van, and the advice they always give me is don't quit too soon because you'll regret it. So I'm going to stick around for a little longer, I hope.
Well, Coach, this has been a fascinating conversation. We certainly appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us. And, you talk about the advice that you have received and are still receiving from your former coaches. What advice do you give after coaching this many games? I'm sure you've got some wisdom to share. What advice do you give to new coaches yourself now when they just start out?
Well, I'm working with a few new coaches now. Some people that haven't been coaching very long, and kind of the same thing is that enjoy the sport. You can't take it too serious because you go up and down, and there's up and down years. And like I said, some years you think you're the king, and then you find out you're not. And so I would just try to tell them to love kids and don't. I wish I could have taken my own advice, but don't take it too serious because it's just a basketball game, but it is something that teaches kids about life. And like I said, our school pays a lot of money for you to learn to be a good man and a good husband. So I think I just try to tell them to have fun and to give it everything you got, because I still believe that winning is important. And I try to help them realize that, sometimes it's about the kids. It's not about you, and it's not about winning. And I think if the best advice is I just have to tell them it's not about me. And it took me a while to learn that. So it's about the kids. It's about making it a good experience for them, so they want to keep coaching, keep playing, and keep them out for basketball. It keeps them out of trouble. It keeps them learning things about life. And like I said, 700, it sounds like a huge number. I don't know how it got there. It's kind of a weird thing. And one of my students was just told me, she says, "Well, my mom played for you." And I said, "Yeah, she did." And she says, "Well, them scorebooks, they have her name in it." And she wanted to see how her mom did many, many years ago. And so she started going through them and finding out how her mom had done. And so I don't know why I kept them all, but I have them all. And she found out how many points her mom scored and the games she played. And then she started counting games, and she come up with this number, like, oh, that's a big number. So my son Casey found out about it, and that's why it kind of got out. But I didn't really know that it was that big a deal. But I don't know, just trying to keep going, and it's still fun, so I still love it.
That's Coach Tim Cassity of Green River. Recently just coached his 700th basketball game, and of course, hundreds of other games in various sports on top of that as well. Coach, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it, and best of luck to you and your teams moving forward.
Our varsity team is playing really well right now, so they're playing good. They're a great bunch of kids, and they're a pleasure to coach and teach. I got a lot of them in my class, and they have worked really hard. So hopefully it keeps going good for us.
All right, we'll see you down the road when the Braves play the Wolves later on towards the end of the regular season. That, again, is Coach Tim Cassity with First Bank of Wyoming Sports Friday here on SVI Media.
Thank you.